Okay, good morning, everybody. I hope you're well. Here is today's phonics lesson. So this is for Monday. Okay, what we're going to be looking at today is another new sound. Now, this is another sound where you might have seen these letters before that make a certain sound. So we're going to be looking at the OW. Now, the OW, we know what sound does that make normally. That's right, it makes an O sound, doesn't it? As in O, blow the snow. But today, we're going to be looking at a different way that this sound makes a sound, okay? So these letters OW, they can make O for blow the snow, but they can also make a different one. Ow, as in brown cow. Can you say that? Brown cow. You can see in the picture, there's a boy and he looks amazed at this gigantic brown cow that's walking past him. And it's quite hard to see, but you can make out that he's saying, wow. And that's another ow sound, isn't it? Wow, ow. So this sound is ow, brown cow. And ow sounds a bit like the other ow that we know, which shout it out, which is the OU, ow. And we can use them differently, and we're going to get into this later in the week. But today we're looking at the ow as in OW, not OU. So can you say with me, ow, ow, ow. And once more, ow. And you can see that it's made from the letter O, the O, and the letter W, the W. And it is different than O as in blow the snow. So you need to remember two now. So we're going to have a quick look at some words. In fact, we're not going to have a look at some words yet. We're going to sound out some words from the brown cow card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the word in Fred talk. So I'm going to sound it out. And then I want you to say it back to me in Fred talk and then say the full word. So for example, if I said h, ow, you would say h, ow, how. Okay, are you ready? So h, ow, h, ow. D, ow, n. B, ow, n. K, ow. T, ow, n. K, ow, d. D, ow, n. N, ow. G, ow, n. So those words were howl, how, down, brown, cow, town, crowd, drown, now, gown. Now you can see from lots of those words that the ow sound is often in the middle. So for example, like howl, brown, town, crowd, drown. The ow sound is often in the middle, and that's just like the OU ow sound, which makes it a little bit tricky to remember. But it's also at the end of words or parts of words. And I say parts of words because if you have a word with two syllables, remember that's how many claps are in the word, then the ow might be at the end of a syllable, a beat, rather than the end of a word. But in these words, like how and cow and now, the ow sound is at the end, isn't it? So we know if an ow comes at the end of a word or a syllable, it has to be the OW ow sound. So that helps you to remember it. It has to be this one, doesn't it? So how do we remember which ow to use? Well, we're going to look at that later. But the basic rule I find is if it ends in own or owl, okay, so if it rhymes with down or howl, it will be w that we use. It will be this one. So if the word ends in n, own, or l, owl, then we use the ow. And we also use the ow with words that end in ow, or parts of words that end in ow. Hope this helps. So we're going to have a look now at some words with ow in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each sound button at a time. And as the sound button comes up, you're going to sound out that sound. Then you're going to say the full word to me. Okay, see how quickly you can do that. So this is the first one. So that was k, ow, cow. Next one. H, ow, how. Next one. N, ow, now. Next one. D, own, down. Next one. T, own, town. Next one. G, own, gown. Next one. K, oud, crowd. Next one. Own, clown. So the rule is, let me just move my video out of the way so I can see it. The rule is that the ow sound is usually the w we use at the end of a syllable or word, like I've told you, but can also be used in the middle of a word or syllable. We can also remember to use w, ow for any words which rhyme with down or owl. Okay, so that helps you to remember them. And now we're going to read the green words that we've just read really quickly without the dots and dashes to help. And I'm not going to help you this time. I'm going to bring them up and you are going to read them. And we might go through them more than once. Okay, so be ready. And now we're going to go back through them the other way. So this word, that 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 word. And once more back through them. So this word, the next one, the next one, the next one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. How did you do with those? I hope you did really well. Can you hear I said an ow word then? How did you do with those? So next, we're going to practice reading some red words. Now, the red words are the tricky words. So each red word has got a tricky part to them. And I've chosen some of these red words. Now, if you're not sure about them, you could ask your mum, your dad, your nana, your grandma, your granddad, anyone who cares for you at home, if they could help you to have some extra practice of these words. So I'm going to bring them up and you're going to say the word. I'll tell you what they are after you've had a chance. This first one. That's any. What's the tricky part in any? That's right. It's the a, which makes an e sound, but also the y, the y, because it's making an e sound, just like our suffix we've learned about. Next one. This word is two, like the number two. And it's a very, very funny word. If we sound it out, it sounds like it says two, but it says two. So the tricky part there is that W, that W that's just in the middle of the T and the R. Not quite sure why it's there. Very strange. Next one. This word is other, other. And the tricky part, what would that be? That's right, it's the O at the start because it makes an sound. Next one. This word is her, her. Now, her isn't really much of a tricky word. The tricky part is it ends in an r. And that's strange because normally comes at the end of a word with more than one beat, more than one syllable. and her has only got one syllable. So that's why that is tricky. Next one. That's right, this word said. And said is a word that I know lots of us in our writing often spell wrong. So remember, in said, what's the tricky part? It's the a and the I, which makes an e sound. Now, the way I remember this is that said is the past tense of say. And if we sound out that a and I, how it's supposed to be is an a, it's said. So I said, that's how I remember said. This one, could. What's the tricky part in could? Well, it's the fact that the make the sound. We don't really need that and that do we? So could. So the make and this is the same in words like should and would. And I think we've got one of them coming up next. So this word, what's this word? That's right, it's would. And it's got the same tricky part as could, the Now I always remember this by saying, oh, you lucky duck. That helps me to remember how to spell it. Okay, now we're going to practice spelling some words. So you're going to need a pencil and some paper. So if you need to pause the video now to get those things, you can do that now. Now, just a reminder to use your Fred fingers to help you. So remember, we can hold up the amount of fingers we need to sound out a word. So if I said a word like run, I could say run, and I know it's got 3 sounds in it, and then I can figure out what letters make each of those sounds. That even works with trickier words. Okay, so if I was doing a word like sheep, I could go sh, e, p, and I know that the first sound is the sh, s, h. The second sound is the e, and the third sound is the p. So that would help me to spell it. As well, remember, for longer words, split it into syllables or beats. Okay, so if you had a word like daydream, you could split it into daydream. So you could write day first, d-a, write that down, and then daydream would be the second part. So d-er-im. So you can do that to help you. Okay, hopefully you've got your pencil. Let's be ready for the next bit. So, the first word I want you to spell is cow. So you're going to spell the word cow. Now, I've realized I've made a bit of a mistake here, so I'm going to have to quickly whiz through these because I've not written down the words that you need to write, and they're on the PowerPoint, but that's fine, so don't worry. The first word is cow. So sound it out on your Fred fingers. Ow. Okay, I'm going to check my second word, so I'm just going to pause the share just while I check it. Right, that's fine. So let's mark that word. So the word is cow. So you should have had C-O-W, cow. So give yourself a tick if you got that word right. Now your next word is how. How. So have a go at spelling how while I check the word after. Okay? How. Okay, let's spell how. How is spelt H-O-W. Okay? Let's try our next word, which is howl. Howl. The wolf likes to howl at the moon. Howl. Okay. Just a reminder, when you have that at the end, it doesn't always have the It's just the sometimes. There is one in this that's a bit different, but remember, you don't need to put howl. It's howl. Okay, let's have a go at spelling howl. H-O-W-L. Give yourself a tick if you got that right. And I will check my next spelling word for us. Okay. The next spelling word is down. Down. Okay. The boy walked down the stairs carefully. Down. Think of the ow sound. Sound it out with your Fred fingers if you need to. Down. So down is spelt D-O, so D-O-W-N. Give yourself a tick if you got down. Now remember, if you need to pause this video at any point to help you to spell the word if you've not got enough time, then that's fine as well. So the next one after down, this is our last word we're going to spell. It's going to be clown. Now this one's got an extra sound in it at the beginning, so you might need an extra finger. Okay, clown. I went to the circus and I saw a very silly clown. Clown. Think about which k is in clown. Remember, we don't use kicking k a lot at the start of words. Okay, and we're going to mark it now. So if you need to pause the video, pause it. So clown is C-L-O-W-N. Clown. Well done. See how many you got right? And then that'll help you to know which ones you might need to practice, and maybe you could practice them after this video if you've got a bit of time left. So you still need your pencil and paper, because finally we're going to write a sentence with some of the words we've practiced. It's going to be a big sentence, this, okay? And I will show you this sentence first so that you can see it, and then I'm going to take it away and you can have a go at spelling it. Don't forget, capital letters, finger spaces, and full stops. Remember, every new sentence needs a capital letter. I need to see each word, which is why finger spaces are important. And we need a full stop at the end. So I'm going to show you the sentence first of all. Now, this is a question sentence. How could you ride the cow the other day? So that's a question, isn't it? It starts with a question sentence. So don't write anything yet. How could you ride the cow the other day? So I'm going to take it away and we're going to practice saying it together. So I'll say it, then you say it. How could you ride the cow the other day? Your turn. And again, how could you ride the cow the other day? Your turn. And once more, I'll say it. How could you ride the cow the other day? Now remember, that ends with a question mark, and it will always begin with a capital letter. Off you go. See if you can write that word. Say it to yourself if you can't remember. How could you ride the cow the other day? Neatest handwriting. How could you ride the cow the other day? Think of that word could, that tricky word. Oh, you lucky duck. Okay, if you need a bit more time to write that sentence, pause the video now, because I'm going to go through how to mark it. Okay, so if If you've got a different coloured pen or pencil, you can use that. If you haven't used the same one, we're going to tick each part we get right. You ready? So the first word was how. H-O-W. You can have a tick if you got a capital H, and you can have a tick for how spelt correctly, H-O-W. So that's 2 ticks for that. Next word, now this is tricky, so well done if you got this right. Could. C-O-U-L-D. Could. Give yourself a tick if you got that right. Next word, you. Y-O-U. We should know that word by now, that tricky word. Tick if you got that right. Now this one is another tricky one. It's a split grapheme, isn't it? A split digraph. Ride. R-I-D-E. Give yourself a tick if you got ride correct. And the next one, the. Nice and easy. T-H-E. Give yourself a tick if you got that right. Next one, cow. C-O-W. That's got that new ow sound in it as well, just like how as. Give yourself a tick if you got cow correct. Next one, the again. T-H-E. Give yourself a tick for that. Next one, other. Another tricky word. O-T-H-E-R. So give yourself a tick if you got other right. And the next one, day. D-A-Y. And finally, we're asking a question. So we wouldn't put a full stop, would we? We want our reader to know this is a question. So we're going to put a question mark. So how could you ride the cow the other day? You can have a tick for your question mark as well. Let's check how many points we could have got. So 1 for H, capital H, 1 for O, so that's ow, so that's 2. 3, could, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 ticks to get. So well done if you got them all. Well done if you got a few less than that. If you struggled, you could probably have another practice if you want to. Play this video again. It's entirely up to you. And that's all for today, Year 2. Hope you enjoyed your phonics lesson. I'm sorry if it was a bit jumbled up. It's the first time I'm doing this. Hopefully it will get better. Feel free to practice writing more ow words or ask your parents to give you some ow sentences to write. So enjoy the rest of your day, Year 2. Have a good day.